Welcome
Clap.
to the 8 a.m. Coffee Podcast. It's just me and Paul for the recap, as we do every Saturday for 2 Saturdays in a row. How's it going over there?
Yeah, it's going good. I almost fell off the bed last night. I need you to know that. That's what woke me up. So,
What?
so I didn't have an alarm set, but almost fell off the bed.
Tell me what happened here.
Okay. So I have started. Sorry, I'm also trying to multitask. We do not have a staff yet. If anybody would like to work for free and share our Facebook post onto our personal Facebook pages, I will do this. I'm just gonna say
It's
talking
Saturday at
about
8:05 in the morning. I don't know that anyone's going to join just yet. We're probably
Do
good.
you honestly think that anybody knows what today is? That's my question.
No, I do though, because I don't have any lessons today, which of course I love teaching, but having like 2 full days where I'm completely nothing scheduled is really, really crazy. And I love it.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, no, falling off the bed. So, I've done a non-scientific independent poll for a couple of years now,
Mm-hmm.
which is how much of the bed do you actually get as a married man?
I'm
There's and it might be a married, but it's never 50-50. It is never a 50-50 line in the bed if you sleep in the same bed. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I think well, with a caveat. I disagree because I think we do tend to stay halfsies, but we have dogs and the dogs sleep with us, m-
Okay.
much to many people's chagrin, I am sure. But the
Um,
dogs are what push
Sleep how you
me.
want to.
The dogs are who push me off the bed.
So, so, all right. The sleep number beds, by the way, think they're wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually slept on one. They're great. I think they need to be smarter and have more than just a 50-50 breakdown. There needs to be a 70-30 or a 40-60 or any of those things. Because I get about, it doesn't matter how big the bed is, I'm getting about 30% of that bed. And that's it. I get 3.5 feet worth of space, and that's all I get. So that's it.
Do y'all do
That's why I
king,
fell off the bed last night. No, we have a
queen?
we have a queen.
Yeah, we're the
Yeah.
same. We have queen, and we really want a king, literally for the dogs, and for a new bed, new
Have you
mattress.
seen have you seen the people? I know they're memes, but really think they're genius. Where they put two kings together.
Huge,
Now the bed took up the entire room.
right?
Like, it was just a room of bed, but it was for their dogs.
Yeah, that totally tracks because
But
Maverick does not like being touched or woken up when he's tired,
oh, okay, okay.
and
That's my thing. Does it matter how big the bed is?
I think so. I think king would be ideal. I think two kings would
Okay,
be a bit much, but
yeah.
fun.
Now when we go out of town, we always have two beds though. And I like to call one bed for one thing and one bed for the other, which happens to be the reality of it. It happens to be just our luggage bed where
Oh,
all the luggage goes because we never put it up, and the only bed I'm allowed to eat flaming hot Cheetos in.
is it
So,
the luggage bed? Oh man.
no, we actually call it the Cheeto bed. So, just thought I'd give you a little insights to what's going on in our house.
Jordan Carr says we did King for Bella. Bella is their dog. And by the way, Jordan is my sister in law's husband. So what does that make him to me? Because that's not
I
technically a
don't,
brother in law, right?
I don't know. I call them brother-in-laws.
It would,
I've never not. I, I've always, if you're family and you have a title with me, that means you're important.
mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So I call them brother. I mean, they're important to me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if they're family and I call you by your name, well, take that. how you will.
I just call him Jordan. I used to call him Larry though, because
Oh, did you?
anyone that my wife's sisters have ever dated, I've called Larry because I don't care to remember their names unless they actually stick around. So
And then he got married to her.
yeah,
Oh, so it changed. You actually started calling him by his name until. Well, see, that's kind of like a title, though.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you know,
It's a little mean.
maybe. I think it says more. You know, hey, he stuck around.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
listen,
sure.
the all relationships end except for the one that's not supposed to. So, yeah, we're
Very
good.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
Hey, so I've started doing something that I think will be fun for people to watch on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start posting some vlogs of me practicing through things that I'm not actually good at yet. Because I think a lot
Yeah.
of times with people who teach music, they tend to be elevated, kind of like people do with pastors. It's like you're at this level and you just got there like all of a sudden, and that's sort of the perception. And I really want to
Hmm.
show that, like, hey, there are things I'm not good at, and also this is how you can practice to get better at whatever it is that you're working on. So it's been really
Have
fun
you?
so far.
That's awesome. I think that's true with everything.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if you ever
Chess,
listen to
I'm sure.
motivational speeches or anything like that. I'm not a big. I, I like leadership conferences.
Hmm.
Uh, I do enjoy them, especially when there's a Q and A.
Right.
But if it's just like, hey, look at me, this is what I've done, right? I'm like, why am I here? Like,
Yeah.
you know. So Gary Vaynerchuk, who we name drop all the time, he thinks he has a thing called the dirt in the clouds.
Hmm.
Like you work in the dirt and you reach for the clouds. But I'm going really Usain Bolt. You
Yep.
know who he is? The sprinter
Fast.
that's like super fast,
Hmm.
right? They were following him and they were at his track in Kingston, Jamaica, and it's just this dirt track that he's running around, and they're like, and they start asking him all the questions about, hey, are you excited for the meet, the Olympics and whatever? And he goes, the Olympics are just they're just the display. This is where
Hmm.
all the work is. This is where all the stuff happens.
Right.
Like this is what you need to see. You don't need to see me, beating anybody by 3 seconds. You need to see all this dirt that's going on, all the hard work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's part of the reason I tell when I teach cooking classes, I always bring up the plum and caramelized onion chutney. So, worst thing I've ever made in my life. Worst thing ever. But I think that's awesome because if I'm sitting at home and I'm trying to learn how to play the guitar, right?
Right.
And I'm like, man, I can't get this. They're so good. And then you're like, whoa, they struggle too.
Yeah. Like they were in
Oh,
that
and
same
even though
position at some point.
you know, yeah, well, even though you know it, it's nice to see it. I just being straight up.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I think it'll be fun, and it's an opportunity to laugh at myself a little bit and just be like, "Oh my gosh, this sucks,"
Yeah.
because it is going to suck sometimes. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I need some recommendations though, if anyone's out there for piano, because playing piano, like I can go all the way through songs with two hands, and I think what I'm going to go for is more like jazz based things because I have a lot of that knowledge up here, but nothing is applied. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens there. Dogs are barking because the sirens are going by.
That's cool.
They're helping.
Yeah.
They'll
Have
start
you?
howling in a minute. Have I what?
We also need to start forming a plan in case they do open up when they do open everything up because they are
Yeah,
going to open everything up about how we are going to do this because we can't do 7 a.m. coffee. Nobody will show up.
that's true.
It's like a date. You're not asking anybody to 7 a.m. coffee.
Right, right. Um,
They're like, oh, you're a morning person? Great.
yeah. Well, I also think that doing 6 a week would be probably more difficult once we're both
Mhm.
working regularly. Um, so yeah, I
We
was
don't have to talk through it right now. I'm just saying we have to
right.
discuss
Yeah,
it.
we can discuss it in front of God and everyone.
I did enjoy your video of your breakfast the other day. like you were making coffee and eggs from
Mm-hmm.
what I looked at,
Yeah,
and bacon maybe.
bacon was in there. Can I
Very interesting.
can I walk you through what I did, and you can tell me what I can do better?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so made the coffee. That's in the Chemex. That's easy. Eggs.
Yeah,
No, we'll start at the beginning. Bacon, 400 degrees in the oven. What are your thoughts on bacon? Is
perfect.
that pan
I
fried
think it
only?
always goes
Like,
in the oven.
okay, okay,
So it's kind of both. Okay. And I'm going to steal a trick from Cracker Barrel real quick, which is what we did. We called it blanching the bacon.
okay.
Okay. So you cook it at a lower temperature. All right. For a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you cook it through, well, almost all the way through,
Like
but
350 or lower?
yeah, like we did it at 350, I think, for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Something like that. Now it just depends on ovens. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't like we use convection, and there's a lot of other tricks there.
Sure, sure.
So just cooked through. But what it does is it cooks it, but it doesn't brown it.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then you would take your already cooked bacon and you would cook it for a minute on each side with a griddle press on top of it.
Hmm.
So you put a press on top, and so you get the crispiness, and it's, you can cook it longer if you like harder bacon.
Sure.
You can take the press off if you don't like crispy. Like those all make sense. But then it's already cooked,
Right.
and you just pull it out of the fridge, and it's easy to go. Now that's in production and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're just cooking for the day, like just throw it in the oven
Sure.
at 400 degrees
Sure.
and have it. My Strangely enough, my favorite thing to cook in the oven, hot dogs.
Interesting.
You bake them, especially if you're making a ton of them.
Yeah.
You bake them off, and then you turn the broiler on at the end to get
Mm.
them to crisp.
Get a little nice up
Just,
top.
just. I know that's really strange to talk about, but yes. All right. So bacon. What you did? You did your coffee, your eggs, your bacon. I enjoy the process and the order already.
Okay.
So go ahead.
That was first. Quick unpopular opinion. I like chewier bacon. I don't like real crispy.
You know what? You and I agree.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. So after
Yeah.
that, while that was cooking, I grated some fresh potatoes after peeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never made fresh hash browns before, and that was really, really good. That was just
Mm.
oil in the pan, and that's where I got kind of stuck because heated it up to like medium high, throw them in there. They start cooking too fast, turn it back down, flip them. No rhyme or reason to any of this, and thankfully they turned out like pretty well. And then just like
Yeah.
Colby on top.
So did you gung ho it and throw all the potatoes in at once? That's the question.
Uh huh.
Just throw a little bit in.
Oh.
So
Okay.
if it's too
Okay.
hot, you just take those 2, 3 little pieces out,
Right.
throw them away, and then go at it.
Okay. Okay.
Did you wash the potatoes?
Did I wash the potatoes? Yeah.
Grate them and then wash them and then strain them.
No, that's a lot of work.
Okay, and listen, I'm giving you chef tips. I'm not giving you
Right,
at home tips. All right,
No,
you got to
no,
remember
sure,
that.
Sure.
So
I'm
you
here
go
for
and buy
it.
this stuff called cheesecloth. Do you know what cheesecloth
Yes.
is?
Yes.
Okay, you put that in your colander and you put the potatoes in there and you wash them,
Mm-hmm.
and then you basically rinse them like 3, 4 times to get all the starch out of it.
Gotcha.
Especially if you're using Idaho potatoes. Different potatoes have different starch levels.
These are
Okay,
just
so
normal.
we're not
russet-
getting it
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
until the water runs clear
Right.
is how long you rinse them. Okay.
Okay.
And then you take them out of the cheesecloth and you twist it until and you twist it and it twists all the liquid out of it. Then you put them on a sheet pan and spread them out a little bit.
Uh huh.
Pat them dry with a paper towel. Then cook them.
Where do you buy cheesecloth?
You can buy it in anywhere, really.
Okay. Okay.
I've seen it. I've seen it ever. Now, here's the crazy question. Do you want to know how we cook fresh hash browns?
Please tell me. Do you get frozen ones?
Nope.
Frozen ones are great, by the way.
Hold on just a second. I think we've gone through them all, so I
Okay.
can't go get the
Okay.
box. We use dried, shelf-stable, dehydrated potatoes and reconstitute and like re-wet them.
Right. Still great.
At home. Oh no, they're better. They're better
Really?
because they've done all those steps and processes for you, and all they are, like, you got to look at the ingredients.
Hmm.
It's legitimately potatoes.
Just potatoes.
That's it. Just potatoes, and they come in. They look like a giant milk carton, and it looks like a giant milk
Do you
carton.
open it like
And
a
you
milk
pour,
carton?
I think so. If I had the box, I'd bring it over.
I love that. That's so nostalgic for me.
Listen, I'm all about cheap eats. Like, the other thing we've done, and I know we've gone really quickly into food, but
Love it. Already hungry.
so we have. So I don't know if we talked about the massive amount of chicken I cut the other day
Hmm.
for
We
chicken
we
fajitas,
did with Lisa
and
yesterday.
then
Yeah.
well, yeah, and then I vacuum sealed everything, right?
Hmm.
Well, I made grilled roasted chicken yesterday, and some pulled pork for. We have a family lunch every week. We just decided to do like a little bit of a dinner last night instead of lunch today.
Right.
And when I say we decided to, that was because I totally forgot to put the pork on the smoker. So, me. So we did dinner instead. But now we have like 5 bags of like, they're like a foot and a half long vacuum sealed bags of just meat
Good grief. That sounds
that's
amazing,
already
though.
cooked.
Yeah.
And it's like I could legitimately lay it out and sell it by the pound, I think.
Right.
So,
Since we're on
I mean,
the topic of hash browns, would you ever put meat into hash browns? And how do you get them at Waffle House? How do you take your hash
how do I
browns?
get them at Waffle House?
Yeah.
Scattered and smothered, just with the onions and potatoes.
Onions.
Super
Okay.
simple.
Wait, what's
Also,
scattered
don't
is
know if I've
onions?
ever eaten. Scattered is not together. So,
Oh,
spread out hash browns.
okay. Huh.
If you don't order them scattered, they put them in a ring mold, and
A cake.
they're like wrapped.
Yeah.
That's also the secret to doing the fried egg that will fit on top of your muffin is to put them in you have like a cookie ring mold,
Yeah.
and you put it in your hand and crack it in there, and it cooks in there,
That's
and it makes the
genius.
perfect round egg. Yeah.
I never would have thought of that.
So just letting you know. No, I don't. I'm gonna be straight up.
Hmm.
I don't know if I've been at a Waffle House sober, so I'm not really sure.
We've talked about that before. It's
Also, I think that handheld restaurants should start handing out rubber gloves to eat.
sure.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm down
go
for that. Okay. The rest of breakfast. There's coffee, bacon at 400 in the oven, the hash browns, which took the duration to cook because I kept changing the
hmm
heat and I wasn't sure what I was doing. Cheese at the end of that, salt in the middle, some freshly cracked or ground or whatever it is. Because you told
hmm
me to shell out for salt, and I do now, and it is better.
yeah, yeah,
And then scrambled eggs. So
nice.
so with those, I try to follow the Gordon Ramsay method as closely as possible because he did a video and it was like keep them on the heat, take them off the heat, flip them on the heat, all that kind of stuff.
I did one of those too.
Okay, okay.
Just like
I'll
yeah,
go watch yours
walked you
too.
through the entire egg process,
Right.
the entire egg scrambled eggs,
Do
and I
you?
don't eat eggs. I hate them.
But you know how to cook them.
So oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, worked breakfast service at BlackBerry for 7 years.
sure. Got to.
You'll know
Yeah,
how to cook
you
some
got
eggs.
to. Do you add anything to the egg? Like, do you do milk or half and half or anything
I'm
ever?
I'm a salt pepper milk
Salt, pepper, milk. Okay.
usually.
Okay. Salt, pepper at the end.
Um, so so here's the thing about salt and pepper.
Uh-huh.
I salt throughout,
Right.
and depending on what it is, that is when I pepper.
Okay. Okay.
So so when you put pepper onto heat, the oil comes out of the pepper. So it changes the flavor of the end versus through it, which is why, like on a salad, why they crack pepper at the end, because it has that sharpness and that bite and that spice to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas even if it's in the dressing and they put it into the mixer or whatever, and they use it, the acidity pulls the oils out of the pepper,
Right.
so it changes the flavor just a little bit too.
Okay.
So
Cool. That. So, I've learned so much. This is
Sorry.
crazy. No, don't be sorry
I'm
because it's great.
I get really like geeky nerdy when it comes to food, so I hope, you know. Also, I,
It's what I
I'm
want.
very I'm also very willing to admit that I don't know everything.
Hmm.
So if anybody's watching and they have a different opinion, right? Or they know a fact that I may not know, I am more than willing to take it.
Yeah.
Like like just because you're good at something or maybe a quote unquote expert,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you know everything. So,
Absolutely. Well,
and I'm the first person to say I don't know everything.
see, that's my whole
So,
approach with these vlogs doing like here's something that I'm not actually good at because one of my students took drum lessons for like 5 years or something. He actually plays at Faith Promise. He does Wednesday nights back when we
who is
did
it?
those things.
Can you name drop?
His name is Seth. Do you know Seth?
What's he look like?
Tall, dark hair. He's in high school.
I think I know
Yeah,
exactly who he is. Yeah.
freaking killing it on the drums for real. And then like a year ago or maybe a little more, he was like, "Hey, I really want to learn guitar." And just we just quit doing drum lessons. He's playing Wednesday nights, and then he was like, "Hey, I want to learn guitar." But he had like a list of songs, and one of them was by Rush, and I was like, "Oh crap, Rush is a little bit out of my league on guitar." But it was more of
Hmm.
an exciting thing to me because it was like I get to learn all these new skills by learning through a Rush
Hmm.
song and a crazy solo and everything, so that I can teach him. So again, that's the kind of thing that I want to put on display, like how I would process through something that I completely don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I think that stuff's fun.
Yeah.
So last thing with the breakfast, scrambled the eggs, put cheese on top, and then the cheese did not melt because the eggs are done cooking at this point to the point that I want them to be. So I turned on the broiler and just shoved the pan like right underneath. So the
Perfect.
top of the egg got a little crispy, which I liked. And then the cheese actually melted. So that was breakfast yesterday.
Perfect.
And then
Yeah.
sriracha on the hash browns for me.
You gotta do it. You
Gotta
gotta
do
do
it.
sriracha. You gotta do sriracha. Do you like ketchup?
Yeah, I do like ketchup.
Okay. So if you do 1 part sriracha to 3 parts ketchup,
Stop. Stop. I've
oh, it's so good.
I have done this before.
So good.
We do that here.
So good.
Okay, have you ever been to a restaurant called Kobe near Halls area, little past
I have not, but
Fountain
I've
City?
driven past it. Yes.
Okay,
I don't get out to the Halls area a lot. No, no,
no shade.
no
No
hate for
shade.
the Halls. Just you know, he's on those West Knoxville
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, like we're ritzy out here. Um, they
Yeah.
they told me one time that their Kobe sauce is a mixture of ketchup and sriracha.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be telling you this.
Listen, there are no secrets, honestly. I think there are 2 secrets on the truck total.
Sure.
Like everything else, I'll tell you every ingredient that's in it. I
Yeah.
don't even care. You're not going to do it, so I'm not worried about it. I mean,
It's too many steps.
no, it's not that it's not just too many steps. It's that because most people want that special thing every once in a while,
Hmm.
and you're not going to go out and buy $40 worth of ingredients to have it once. And that's just the truth. Like, you're just not. It's easier just to drive by and pick it up from me.
It's true.
It really is. Which looks like we're headed that way. Um, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to jump the gun on any of this. Like, there are people screaming, "Oh, we're going to be open on Monday," and I'm like, "Y'all, chill." Like, we got 2 weeks before we even open anything. It looks like, and then I don't know. I've seen a lot of underground speakeasy things going on though. I'm I'm slightly terrified and majorly impressed all at the same time.
Sure, sure. It's prohibition all over again. Man, I don't even know what I think about it yet. I haven't completely formed thoughts. But I don't see it going well if we reopen soon.
Let me tell you something. There are no laws right now. None.
It's the Wild West.
Except for violent ones. Don't violently hurt or do anything to
Yeah,
anybody.
exactly.
Everything else, game on. Um, like because I have an ABC catering license, which is
It's
an
alcohol.
alcohol beverage commission license,
Right.
I can legitimately start up the truck, drive to your neighborhood, make you cocktails at this point right now.
And that's legal.
All I got to
technically,
do,
right?
legal
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
Legal. Like it's not illegal. Like I'm not
Okay,
just
come on.
doing it to do it.
Can you be here by 10?
But as long as I have a licensed bartender,
Right.
I can straight up turn the truck into a margarita truck right now and like just pull up. I'm like, what's the point? Like, what is the point in any of these rules? I saw a meme the other day, which was Tennessee 2 months ago. You can buy 1 6-pack of beer from your local distributor or your local brewery. Tennessee today, you can buy a gallon of margaritas from the Girl Scout outside of Walmart. No problem. Have at it. You know, like what?
That's hilarious.
It's mind blowing. I'm now I don't hate it. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's, but it's this was one of those laws and one of those rules through this whole thing that you're not going to be able to go back on now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't go back on this. And I'll tell you, like I know we did a transparency thing and everything, but I'm a little nervous
Yeah.
about, because it's like we changed everything and it takes you 21 days to get used to something, right? And now I'm used to this.
Yeah.
And now it's like, go back. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what? Like, no, not because of like health or anything like that.
Sure.
That's not where I'm headed with this. I don't even want to go that direction. But it's like, oh wait, I've got to go back to what I've done my whole life now.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, I've kind of enjoyed not doing what I've done my whole life. Like, why can't I just get some unemployment with an extra $600 a week forever? Like I'm starting to actually like the kids today.
There you go. It'll all ebb and flow though eventually, right?
Yeah. Hey, I do have a question for somebody that, and I know it's, I don't even care. Like there are no rules right now.
Mm-hmm.
But from somebody that was in the church, right? We have a social media conduct policy with our church, even with volunteers.
Okay.
What
does that mean?
And one of things you can't show,
don't cuss.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of read it. It's kind of like the Apple iTunes agreement. Like, who actually reads it? I just scroll to the bottom.
Sure.
I mean, I could have given away half my net worth or net debt, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, I think you did.
And whatever. Also, I have realized that my iCloud not anywhere near what I need it. I need the next step up.
Right.
But I have, no one said anything, and I want to make sure that this is understood. No one has said a thing.
Okay.
But I personally think I make amazing cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, with things that are in your house.
Do you
things that are in?
Yeah. I feel you on that.
I mean, but like I made pina coladas last night,
mm-hmm.
right? But I didn't use a mix. I used frozen pineapples and rum and actual like coco real, so like coconut and they were amazing. But it's only like 4 ingredients,
mm-hmm.
right? If you have, and it wasn't like to go buy a fresh pineapple and cut it and do let's be real, guys. Like I love and what did it was because I watched those Bon Appetit videos that you said to watch, and it was when they all were making their favorite cocktails.
That's a great
and
video.
I learned, first of all, so much, but second of all was like I can do that. Like I can do that.
Right.
And it was, well, I've made pina coladas like that forever.
Yeah.
I didn't go buy a fresh pineapple and cut it open
mm-hmm.
and then refreeze it. I just bought frozen pineapple and put it in the, pulled it out of the freezer. But I made them last night and they were delicious. They were great. And we sat and played cards and, and had a cocktail and everything else. But from a church standpoint point of view, and I guess I probably need to ask my church, and I'm just putting it out there.
Sure.
Why is it that big of a deal if I make that for an audience on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
So let's have that discussion where, first of all, everybody posting their senior pictures, which I did. I'm guilty of it. And they're like, well, how do you think that seniors really feel about that? And I'm like, well, none of them are on this social media platform. Let's start off with that. Like, listen, Sally, Facebook is like 35 and older right now.
Sure.
Like, I don't know many under 35-year-olds that are on Facebook. Instagram, TikTok, all that, that's for the young folk, the youngins.
Right.
Why is that such a big deal? I really want to know, like, why is it such a big deal? If you're a responsible adult, as far as I know, it's not unbiblical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why can I not show that? That's my question to you.
Sure. Yeah.
And I know that you come from a dark place with this, so I kind of really want real feedback.
Well, no. I think the church where I worked, which is One Life, they had a really good non-policy about it. It was a very like loose-handed kind of thing where it was like, hey, we can all drink. That's fine. You know, even the pastor, but we're not going to be stupid about it, basically.
Right.
You know, and I think if someone on staff was posting about it, it wouldn't be a huge deal, but it would at least be, you know, if there were multiples of that, it would be a face-to-face discussion, which I very much applaud them about. I do remember, I'll give you one specific story. There was like a Super Bowl party sort of guidelines at one point, because the year before that, I think there weren't any guidelines, and I might be butchering this if anyone from One Life is listening, because I think someone had too much to drink because there was just too much available, and it was like one person. So then like the next year it was like, hey, just be smart about it, you know, like BYO.
My question
no
is not
policy, you know.
My question is not about consumption online or anything like that. It's about the actual production and making it. Like, it's about teaching people how to make the drink.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's about an educational video. It's not about a consumption video.
Yeah. I mean, I would say personally, I'm all for more of that being out there rather than like what I grew up with, not at One Life, but the church before that, where they have to sign an agreement to never drink. That's a real thing.
What?
Yeah. I think that sort of behavior causes people to want to do it more rather than let's just educate people about what it is, what it does, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think Ryan watches the show. My friend Ryan, he owns Cork's Wine and Spirits down there in the old city. Used to be in Turkey Creek. He has started producing like how to make an actual authentic margarita.
Cool.
How to do some other stuff, which is really like I know. And then I have bartender friends that watch this, which is amazing because I watch them do things and I'm like, how do you do that?
Right.
Like that's completely mind-blowing that you put those 7 things in one thing and made it taste like this.
Right.
That blows me away because there's no cooking and there's no like that to me is like real chemistry. So, and I know to go completely scientific with it, that's what I think. But I mean, like, you know, like I did a video about how to make limoncello and Sprite.
Right.
Not really an official drink, just something we drink at our house.
Just something delicious.
And it's something delicious, if you will. I say if you will a lot. But like
I will.
I really I don't know. It's just like one thing is I think that frozen drinks get a bad rap. Like they really do get. The reason is because you order them at a bar when they're getting their tails whipped. That's why it gets a bad rap. Like I've been places where they're like no frozen drinks. Like 86 frozen drinks for the night. Right. You know, where I don't know. It's just a question.
Well,
you know, maybe I'm No one's responded in the
I know.
chat,
I
so that's
noticed
what
that.
I'm looking.
For better or worse. I mean,
No one has said a thing.
we are in the South too, where I know that in church culture, until recently, in my opinion, it's been very much frowned upon, like to drink at all. Um, I, I think posting a video about making something, the argument would be that runs the risk of teaching someone how to do something that's going to get them drunk and send them down a path that's, not good. But that goes back to the whole school conversation we had, where it's like, if parents are educating in a good, healthy way about these things, then hopefully that won't happen.
True.
Or accountability, and if the church is educating about these things rather than saying, hey, you can't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, we had some good guests on this week too.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
I'm
did.
not trying to back to
No, let's do it.
recap this week.
We're
We got Dylan and Micah.
40
Whatever.
minutes in recapping. That's good odds right there. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was super fun, because those are like not childhood friends, but like my late teen years friends of mine into my 20s. So that was cool. Little nostalgic trip. Yeah. Did you have any favorite moments from those? Because you know them from church at the moment.
Yeah. Wow, I can't think of a single thing that Micah said.
I
It was
wanted
more just to troll him.
That's
Anything.
so funny. I'm going to take that clip out and just send it to him. Yeah, I can't remember anything that guy said. He did talk about narcissism, though.
No, I liked having Micah on. He was a different point of view,
Sure.
on a lot of things. Really enjoyed the stories from Dylan. That was fun. Kelsey and how she wrote music and performed music and all that. Kelsey was a blast. And I think I honestly think because there was zero history with her and I, except for, meeting her a couple of times,
Sure.
and you being in a group chat with her and not exactly knowing phone number. Outside of that, that's how we knew her.
That's really funny. We should have told that story, and we didn't.
And I think she's great. Like she's as good of a human as she comes off as. Lisa's such a good friend, and Lisa's hilarious.
Yes.
Like she really is hilarious. I guarantee you she went to Taste of Thai last night and was like,
Heck yeah.
give me 47 girls. Like, I mean, so so she was, even though she was great, she was very much a calmer version of herself yesterday, which is hilarious.
I was going to say calming.
She's very
presence in general.
She's very, not the Rona, guys, not the Rona. Man, I cough every single time I cough. I'm like, Mark McKinney tells me I need to not eat wheat. That's my Mark McKinney impression, by the way.
Right.
I'm also very bad with accents. I've realized this.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched Friends, I end up turning into Joey and everything is Jamaican. So it's either Jamaican or British, and it's not even close to what it's supposed to be.
I'm glad you didn't do that when you were talking about Usain Bolt, like running in Kingston. Wait, Kingston is in Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, geography.
Hey, which Star Wars is that you've got up there?
I think this is more of an amalgamation of episodes 4 through 6. Mostly 4.
Did you watch New Hope or Empire Strikes Back last night? New Hope. Okay, so I was talking to a kid.
Yeah.
So that we're very restrictive with screen time until it comes time, like, let the floodgates open. Well, we were like, hey, if anybody wants to watch a screen, that's cool. And because of a punishment issue, one of our children does not have access to his iPad.
Gotcha.
Which I'm going to tell you right now, we don't have we don't have TVs in the bedroom because, honestly, why, when they each have their own iPads and they want to watch something different anyways.
Sure.
And he was the only one to speak up when we said, you guys can watch a movie together. right? So they watched Star Wars, and then all of the girls revolted, all of them. The teenager. No, I'm not saying it was a bad choice, man. It was a good choice.
Absolutely.
The Star Wars. Like, don't look at me like you're in trouble. You're good.
Right.
I promise you. Okay.
Although I will say
Um,
episode 4 for anyone under like age 30, 40, 50 years old is probably a little rough. Just
yeah.
graphics and special
He
effects and
he's 10. He loved it.
right.
And but like the teenagers on her phone, the other one's in her own iPad, but full blast. Like she is arguing in her own passive aggressive 6-year old way, like playing whatever game it is on full blast on the couch. And I'm like, put some headphones in. They don't work. 100% they work because you've been using them every day.
Right. Right.
and and then Ashley going, is this even good? Like I'm telling you, they all revolted. Like every one of the girls revolted against A New Hope last
It's
night.
that whole thing
It
of
was
like,
great. So,
is it good or is it nostalgic? I think that's a valid question for anything subjective because I I think it's good. I think it's good 100% no matter what. Also, Jennifer McDonald said that she's got a comment in the chat back to our discussion of drinking. She grew up Catholic, drinking wasn't a big deal, and then when she turned 21, she didn't have the desire to like run out and get drunk. And I'm totally all for that because I think growing up in a Southern Baptist church, I'm not trying to just knock the church completely or anything, but it was very much like you cannot do this. The stories told around it were like, I got drunk every night and then I had to quit cold turkey. And like, that was the only thing that was said about it. So I
so
think that's dangerous.
so kind of how we are in our house, and
Hmm.
I'll just say how we are in our house. This is not for anybody that struggles with addiction issues and anything like that. Like, I think if you struggle with an addiction issue, and I have friends and family members that do,
Yeah.
that are around it, they just completely stay away. We're actually really respectful of that,
Right.
and we're like,
Right.
hey, and actually we kind of got called out on it,
Mm.
like by a specific person that was like, that this is my issue, not your issue. Like, if
Yeah.
you want to have a beer, it's cool. Like, I'm not going to have it. Don't offer me one. But like, if you're doing it, like, I'm so far past it,
Yeah.
so far past that. But I've also have had other friends that are like, hey, thanks for inviting me to the wine dinner. It's too much of a temptation for me to
Yeah.
come to.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stay away. That I understand. I'm talking on a biblical basis, basic level.
Yeah.
Because everything I read, and I may be wrong, I'm not a pastor, it's don't get drunk. Not don't drink, don't get drunk.
Sure.
So that's my question is, like, if I have a cocktail, and listen, man, I've been intoxicated. I will be the first person to tell you I've been intoxicated.
Sure.
If you look at any social media post I have, let's say 6 years previous, you're like, there's some glossy. Like, dude, on my 31st birthday, I was at Irish Times drinking out of a pimp cup. All right. Don't tell me I wasn't intoxicated. Everybody just kept buying me drinks and they kept putting it in this cup. And I was like, stop just making this a large bar mat shot. Does anybody know what a bar
I
mat
have
shot
no
is?
idea what that means.
At the end of the night, you take the bar mat from the well and you pick it up and you pour it in a glass.
That sounds
It's the
horrible.
worst. Listen, restaurant people are jacked, all right. Um, but I was like, no matter what anybody orders me, it is a Jack and Coke. So
I think the stuff that Paul said in the New Testament can be a little fuzzy in a very much gray area. And that's where it's like, hey, if what you're doing causes someone else to stumble, don't do it. But
right.
I think at the core of that kind of discussion, you have to have some really close relationships and open communication about it. Because what you're saying is you
Yeah.
invite somebody to a wine dinner, they feel comfortable enough with you to say, like I can't come and do that because I will have too much, you know? And
Right.
I think that's the whole
And my
core
thing,
of
and
this.
you know, and I even, but I've also had people say, "Hey, I just don't drink.
Hmm.
Can I get more food?" Okay,
Heck yeah.
like sounds good. I'll just send a couple extra courses out for you, or make a larger course or something like that. It I wasn't trying to go down that path at all. It was just more of a, well, actually, it was a response to a comment. So we
Oh,
were
gotcha.
down that path.
I gotcha.
Um, I just don't, and I'm not struggling with it. Like it's not like oh, if I do it, you know, whatever. I'm actually just trying to find more content currently.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, like there's only so much food you can cook until you've got to be like, hey, this is how you make a cocktail to go with it.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
mean, like how many people actually know how to make an old fashioned? Not really. Like I've met bartenders that don't know how to make old fashions. They never get ordered. They're
Oh,
delicious. They're
interesting.
amazing. I love them. You know, well, there's a process to it of muddling sugar,
Right.
and
Right.
it's not just a you pour something in a drink anymore.
Yeah.
You know, even to how to make spheres of ice. Like I want to, like those guys. I don't know if you've ever seen Japanese whiskey bars.
Hmm.
They only have cubes of ice, and then they cut it
That's
to make
cool.
it fit in the glass.
Is
Oh,
that
it's the most.
is that like
What's that?
shave ice?
No, they're cubes of ice
Okay.
at this
Okay.
point.
I gotcha. I gotcha. This
But
is
no, it's not like shave ice.
yeah. This is not like melting American cheese on some button mushrooms or anything like that. You know, that would be awful.
You know, I don't have any problems with that.
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
how you eat your hash browns is how you eat your hash browns. It's not my deal. All
I don't
right,
want mushrooms on my hash browns. Let me be clear about
they're
this.
in there. They're in there. You can get them.
American cheese, I'm okay with.
Those are the cup. That's covered.
Covered. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Covered.
I do the chili on my hash browns at Waffle House because if I'm gonna go hard into some bad
Is
experience
that
later
diced?
on, it's oh man, I don't know. No, I think diced is jalapenos or jallies, as they
Oh,
say. It's a good question. Smothered, covered, chunked is ham. Yeah, I don't know. I want a menu. I want to go steal a menu from Waffle House. Did you have a?
I did. Are they still closed?
That's a good question. Technically, they're essential right now, right? So they should be doing like takeout or something.
Yeah, I didn't know if they closed company wide. I thought I saw that.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I was
Is
gonna.
today April 18th?
Yeah, it's the 18th. I was gonna ask you though. Did you have a favorite moment from this past week? Because
You know, I not to take away from any of our guests, I really like the
I was
transparency
gonna say the same
um,
thing.
episode. Like, hey, um, you know, just like any show, even if it's a late night show, even if it's a podcast, even you know, the majority of them. I'm not gonna say all of them because that's not true.
Right.
It's the highlight reel. It's really the highlight reel. Like, I mean, there was part of me that didn't want to do this morning. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, bed's warm, it's comfy, kids are asleep, you know, whatever. And I was like, all right, get up, go. And as soon as can't remember what somebody called it, starting energy or motion energy or whatever. As long as you're standing up for 10 seconds, you should be good.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's when you stand up and then sit back in the bed. Like you stand up, make yourself stand up for 10 seconds and then go. And, you know, I just, you know, I woke up a little late and that's it. You know, oh man, sorry. I just saw something today. So, and we can talk about it in a minute. It has to do with music.
Ooh,
So
fun.
that's fun. Um, um, you know, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing your insight into it as well.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
like, and the fact that it's like, hey, not everybody's alone. You know,
Yeah.
I think that um, it it very much becomes a I'm in this by myself, which is where a lot of people go
Hmm.
when they're feeling down. Like I'm the only one going through this, which is not true.
Yeah.
Like no, Nobody wants to be in this mess
Yeah.
currently. So
Well, I think even within that, like feeling like you're the only one going through it, you probably, even if you know someone else is, you might not want to reach out, and I totally get that.
yeah,
It's just a tough position to be in. Thankfully, since I've had counseling and stuff like that and talked with some people about it, like I kind of know where the dip ends and starts coming back up, and I know some things that I can even physically do to like start getting out of it. So, you know, it's a lot. There's a lot to it. It's a very complex thing.
so our friend Jeremy Garcia, I promise you, these two subjects tied
Uh
together.
huh.
Did that I never do these things where people nominate me to do
The
something
10
on social
albums.
media. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but today is National Record Store Day,
Oh, cool.
and it has always been a really fun day food truck wise.
Yeah.
Every record store has like limited releases, and I don't know how they get together and figure this out. It's very interesting to me
Yeah.
because every single one of them has something new and different and something that nobody else has. And apparently, and it just drives people there. And they've always had food trucks come, and it's always just been that thing. And today is that day. And it kind of sucks that no one's doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Really. Like no one's able to do it, right?
yeah.
I'm not
So,
even a
but
records
no,
kind of guy, but like that whole experience sounds like a lot of fun
yeah.
to just go and hang
Yeah.
out.
No, my first two have been the Notorious B.I.G. and then why can't I even think of the one I put today? Live from Mars, Ben Harper, Innocent Criminals.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. I act like I don't listen to music, but
I like it.
yeah, yeah. And those are not necessarily childhood. It's childhood and college age
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
like tomorrow, I'm going to post the first CD, personal CD I ever purchased,
Whoa.
and it might be both up. I might do a twofer, but they're totally pop music. They're totally 1989. They're totally like this is
Wait, Taylor Swift.
no one's.
1989?
Well, she was one, so she wasn't recording anything yet.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I guess
She
that,
wasn't like Bieber
yeah, that album
getting
didn't
picked up by
actually
Usher.
come out in 1989, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Oh
either.
man, don't yawn on the air. That's a no-no, isn't it?
I don't know. Sure. What do we know about on the air? I will say though, 90s wise, I could go back and listen to probably any Spice Girls song and sing 90% of the words.
I didn't know there was more than one Spice Girls song.
Oh man, how dare you? We had like favorite members and we could pick out who was singing each part. Those were good
Oh,
times.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. It was like the girl boy band.
Yeah, totally. I think the guys were like the guy girl band. Male
Did
version.
you ever watch
whatever.
Austin Powers? Did you ever see Austin Powers?
Yeah.
You know the character, though, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
they were
for sure.
interviewing him on like MTV, like the Carson Daily show, like the daily count up or countdown or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What? Which Spice Girl is your favorite?" And he's like, "I like Old Spice, baby." I was like, that was my answer right there.
Ridiculous. We actually watched Austin Powers and Goldmember, so the third movie. Have you seen that one? Like, do you know which one I'm talking about?
I mean, I know which one you're talking about, but I haven't seen it now.
I will say this. It was one of my favorite movies growing up, and it does not hold up in our current climate. There are just way too many jokes you cannot make anymore. Where I was like, I found myself cringing, like, ooh, like, how would this come across right now? Could not be in theaters. But Beyonce is in that movie. She is like,
Really?
second build cast member in that movie, I'm pretty sure, which is hilarious.
I
And
just heard something crash in the
strange.
kitchen.
Uh-oh. Their plates just like breaking on the floor.
Probably my fault.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah. No, I think Mike Myers is a genius personally. I just really do. So
Wayne's
I
World
love.
also is incredible.
So I'm married to Max Axe Murderer.
Hmm.
Anyways, we can get into movies later.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it
Um,
next week. We have some fun
yeah,
guests
let's.
coming too. Some other local coffee shop owners and managers and things like that. It's going to be really cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And we also still have
And
a
then
say what?
I've got somebody
Ooh,
to send to you.
ooh, fun.
Yes.
Um,
I don't know if anybody knows how the booking process works with us. And one of us will get in touch with you, and then Asher will take care of everything else.
you
It
know what
does
I
not
actually
matter.
do though? It takes about 10 seconds. I just change the name on a text message template and just send it.
So, so still doing 1,000% more than I do. So
I guess.
that is great.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole process. We're gonna have like papers on it. It's systematized. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be a really fun week. And also we still have a giveaway going on. I don't know that anyone has participated yet. So I mean, the odds of winning are ever in your favor, or
Huge.
whatever they say in the Hunger Games. So go on our Facebook page, the 8 a.m. coffee page, and you can win a bag of coffee. Can I win, by the way? Like, can I do? Can I do
Sure.
a T-shirt, a mug, and a bag of coffee? And also, you can go to our Patreon page, which I'm going to post down here, which we keep forgetting to do. And you
And
can give
Asher's
different.
going to plug the $50 gift.
If you give $50, Paul will do a TikTok dance on his
And then
TikTok.
I'll post it on Facebook. So since nobody's on TikTok except for everyone in China and 17 or like 14-year-old kids. So
That is a really good point, because if you actually did that, no one would ever see it. So, but also anything that you give does support us, of course, but 50% goes to Second Harvest Food Bank so that they can feed people.
hey, and I'm gonna say this. I did say it on my personal Facebook
Hmm.
page the other day. Um, we would appreciate anything that is sent, but please take care of your family first.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
don't feel like don't just be like, oh, they need it, I'm gonna send it. Like, take care of your family first.
Right.
Like like that is a huge thing. Take care of your family first. So
For sure. For sure. Well, it's Saturday morning. It's been a great time. It's been a pretty good week. Any closing thoughts before we sign off of here?
nope, I'm
Nothing,
good.
nothing at all. Everybody have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend. Hey, turn off the news if you need to. Turn on the news if you haven't watched all week. Turn it off after 5 minutes when it gets
I don't even
ridiculous.
I don't even know what the count is anymore. I just need you to know. I don't know. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So
But hey, send us a message if you're having a rough time or anything. We would love to talk with you. We'd love to see just what's going on out there in Knoxville and what you're getting into, what your favorite takeout is, what your favorite beer or cocktail might be of the quarantine moment. So that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
hugs and hand pounds.
Absolutely.
Well, no hugs apparently, but hand pounds,
All right, cool.
elbow pounds.
Yeah, there you go. LOL. Lots of love. We'll see you on Monday.